Thank you once again. Let's go to the Greek case, archiving and presenting the present of the past from an example from the Greece bicentennial observatory. We are creating about this special historical event here in Greece. And we are going to talk about three specific issues: how social media data can be archived and preserved through this case. How about the personal legal limits and ethical issues about how this data can be archived and presented? And which are the methodological approaches of searching and analyzing social media data? Three different things, but we are trying to discuss them because it is a work in progress right now. This presentation is based on the research carried out in the context of the research project, Observatory of the Greek Revolution, which is implemented under the action of the European Union funding. And let's talk about some general things about social media, seeks to engage users in the moment and create narratives for them about the place, the digital place. Saving places full of user stories, whether they tell the history of a place, of the people who lived, worked, and played there. The accessibility of social media platforms creates some of the most innovative, daring, and radical space for individuals to write, share their own stories. And how can we use these stories in a repository? Can we do so? And social media are characterized by fact as modes of sociality. There are three layers, three levels: cognitive, communicative, and cooperative level. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest have influenced public history practices and modes of communication, SASS, but user-created content operates as a potential threat to the history organizations because this challenges the voice of authority and the need for this institution to expand the dialogue with the public through social media, as we discussed in the previous presentation. Doing public history by using digital tools, infrastructure, and platforms, fostering new forms of collaboration, communication, production of user-generated content. But how does the digital change the thinking and telling the history days of all these abundance and accessibility is still lacking for us in order to research this content?
And white boys are making me tired.
Let's talk about the observatory and the idea of creating this observatory. The last year marked the bicentennial of the Greek Revolution for here from Greece, arguably the pivotal moment for the creation not only of the Greek state but also in the broader Greek history, stemming from the necessity to record and interpret this implementing moment of commemoration of the Greek Revolution. We challenged to create this observatory in order to store all the celebration about this historical event in Greece, and not only in Greece, around the world. But this presentation is focused on the social media, and the part of this observatory is focused on the storage of all these ephemeral parts of understanding of people, of those societies through social media in the most which content produced, consumed, and stored online. In organizing a digital historical archive with the ambition to include present historical production from users, so we were conscious that we had to deal with the various attribution of history and memory. That was the main thing for us, how to do so, and is it so easy to make this observatory? The research began with the recording of archival data, but also field notes made by the researchers on the recording, manipulation, and analysis of the research, because we thought that we have to find out hashtags, keywords, references, any publications from the web which is based on this special historical event here in Greece. All these notes, which may include impressions, observations, questions, are summarized, categorized, and constantly reviewed during the research, with the intention to both meticulous and diligent recording and accessible and manageable data collection. They're organized in the first place in order to understand what's going on, all these specific moments of celebrations. The results is a faster, more discrete research, although the potential over-abundance of data must be controlled by site-specific parameters, which of all these materials are going to introduce to this observatory. Can we choose some of them, or full of them are going to introduce and stored in this observatory? In our part about social media, we focused on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, on comment and post profiles, pages, somehow blogs or somehow websites in Facebook, for example. And we try to record even the time of the date of posting, the date and the time we are going to record the information. As you can see, this is the platform we created with technicians in this project in order to store the data from social media. There is a title we are going to create, a title, the creator, which is the creator, the user, the special coverage, the description, which are going to present which is this profile and or website or the comments based on a post in social media, the language, the type, if there is any bibliographic citation, the date issued, the date record, and the rights. What about the rights? It's open source. Can we use all this material or not? Can we present the names of all these profiles in this observatory? So that was the next discussion, and during our project we created some agreements, different agreements for those institutions who are going to present themselves in public through social media. But we discussed to follow the idea of the Library of Congress in order to store and present some Twitters or other profiles in Instagram or TikTok without presenting the content, but describing the content of the profile or the comments on TikTok. And if some researcher is able to want to know about the content, we are going to present the content, especially under a new agreement. That's something that we discussed already about the ethics of the algorithm and how we can understand the new challenges through social media, and how information architecture, the visual interfaces can be used as historical data right now. This is another discussion we began during our storage of all this information in this platform. This is an example from Twitter, in which we are going to present the Twitter profile. There is a description from our site, and the main idea is to present in a general way the content of the profile, and the researcher can focus on the content if there is any specific agreement. This is another example when we want to introduce researchers to the platform for specific example from Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram. We chose to present the content, but not the names of the profiles or the people who are going to comment on these posts. In this digital turn, we are going to find out new methodological tools in order to interpret and understand all this content. In doing so, we try to understand the meaning of distant reading and distant viewing. What about the appearance of all these research material, all this data in the web, and what about all these visualizations of the content? In this way, we have several collaborations with the technicians in order to get all the information from Twitter or Instagram or TikTok and be as possible for our research. For example, we used a machine learning process that, as you can see, the intense flow or the keras, in order to analyze text and visual representations from social media. It's not easy for us to understand the machine learning techniques, but the technicians try to introduce us into the idea of how the machine learning can categorize the data from the web, even if these data are text, even if these data are visual, in order to give us back some very specific information about the data. So we are going to analyze Twitter and Facebook comments from these techniques. Yeah, and what I think it's very, very important for us, the sentiment analysis, because we're going to analyze as well the sentiments from specific lexicons we have already created in Greek language, especially for our case. And these are some examples from the results, for the first result of analysis from these, for deriving the information from Twitter, especially. And we used, in collaboration with the technicians, the Twitter developer tools in order to receive specific content from the tweets from users and profiles. We focus also on the restrictions from any social media in order to know exactly what's going on about their restrictions. And these are some of these from the first analysis we're going to make and understand what's going on the web about the comments. Thank you very much for your attention.